Hello.
Hello.
I tell you what, it's a bit blowy today. And it's one of them blowies that goes right through my muff. Do you know what I mean? It's like the wind muff on my microphone. It stops a lot of the blowy coming through. But this one, this sort of blowy, it's not. So I've had to put my special sock on my muff, haven't I? To stop it coming in. I know all the terms, you know, all the technical terms. You don't understand them, do you? They're right over your head.
Oh dear.
Before we go any further, you've not seen this part of the croft before, have you?
I haven't.
This is where we keep the straw.
That's my spare bed.
It's Sean's spare bed after he's had a couple of pints of Guinness. And we use what's left for the chickens as well, don't we? Now, I've actually just thought on.
All right.
We shouldn't have started here. We need to go back home because we need to film something back there first.
I don't like it when he thinks.
Hello, Trouble.
No.
So if you didn't hear on social media, Otis got bitten by an adder a couple of weeks ago. Usually they disappear into the undergrowth whenever they see anybody coming. This one was literally sunbathing right in the middle of the road. Just curled up, getting warm in the middle of the road, and we walked by. I was distracted by something and Otis just went straight to it to sniff it like he would. And it got him right on the side of his nose there. So Otis jumped about 6 feet in the air, which was the first I knew that something was wrong, and then started going. Like
He was doing what?
Now I saw the adder, got a photograph of it, so I knew it was an adder that bit him. We brought him straight home, got into the vet within, I think, about an hour, wasn't it?
It was within half an hour, yeah.
Now, he was all right, and the vet gave him some morphine for the pain and an anti-inflammatory to take the swelling down because his nose didn't half swell up.
He did.
And he came home, and within a few days he was absolutely fine.
You were, weren't you?
Yeah. Now we got
a good boy.
A lot of comments on social media saying, "Oh, why didn't you give him anti-venom?" And well, the truth is, in the UK there isn't a licensed anti-venom because, well, more than 9 out of 10 dogs actually don't need it, and it doesn't affect the outcome of the treatment of just painkillers and anti-inflammatories. That's why they don't use anti-venom. They do use it in extreme cases where the dog might be having an allergic reaction, which Otis wasn't. So he didn't need it. He was actually, getting heavy, aren't you? He was actually fine within a few days, apart from his nose swelling up. While I was researching adder bites, I did read a story about a guy in America.
Right.
Who used to live in Scotland, and his dog got bitten by an adder. So he took the dog straight to the vets like we did.
Yes.
And he also took a box, and the vet opened the box, and inside the box was the adder that he'd brought to identify, which then bit the vet.
What? Why would you do that?
So if you see an adder, just leave it alone, it'll disappear normally. Don't approach them, and if your dog does get bitten, just take it straight to the vets.
Yeah.
But in most cases, I think 96% of cases, they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
We're back! Or did we ever go? Was it a bit of clever editing? No, we actually went home and then came back again, didn't we?
Say nothing.
Give the game away. Now, you might remember a couple of weeks ago, we showed you our new apiary. Well, in that vlog, there was a lot of comments. You like the bees, and I like that you like the bees, because I like the bees too, and Sean's starting to like the bees. We were watching a programme on telly the other day. We're not going to say what it's called, but the beekeeper on there, Sean, was correcting them.
Yes, I was.
He was doing what you do to us.
I got blocked.
But one of the comments on that vlog was asking where the word apiary comes from.
All right, yes.
So we thought we'd explain that to you. So back in Latin times, the bee, Latin in bee was api, or api. Yeah? What? No, not like happy, not like them pills you're on. And so a bee house where the bees live was known as an apiarium.
Right.
You know, like a terrarium or an aquarium. It's like where the bees live, the bee house. And then over the years, it just got shortened to apiary.
Did you used to keep them in water then?
I don't think they used to keep bees in water anyway. Anyway, back to the subject. So, our new bees have arrived, and we've got 12 plus 1 nukes of bees.
We have.
Now, the reason we're filming from this side of the croft, which is way over to the side from where our house is, isn't it? T'other. Is because this is where one of the 4 new apiaries is. It's just behind the tree. It's just behind you.
Yes.
Now I'm setting up 4 new apiaries over the next year. This is the first one. The reason I'm setting up 4 is I'm actually going to put different species of honeybee on each one, if that makes sense.
Different flavours?
I'll explain more about that as we go on. But all the bees that are going in this apiary are buckfast bees.
Yes.
They're supposed to be very calm and, well, not necessarily friendly, like they bring muffins round and stuff.
Stung me.
But calm, and they get a lot of honey, and they're quite resilient. Now, I got them from Lawrence at Black Mountain Honey. He's got his own YouTube channel. It's all about no-nonsense beekeeping. It's brilliant if you're thinking about starting. So why have I chosen buckfast? Sounds like a character from some dodgy 70s movie, doesn't it? From Top Shelf, video shop,
Yes.
behind the curtain.
Behind the curtain.
Well, Lawrence looks after these in North Wales, and the weather in North Wales is actually very, very similar to what it is up here in the Highlands. The rainfall amounts, the temperatures in the summer and winter are all about the same. And if they do really well in North Wales, in that kind of weather, then hopefully they'll do really well up in this part of the Highlands too. In each of these boxes, at the moment, there's anything between about 10 and 15,000 bees. Now that number will double or triple or even quadruple over the next few weeks, depending on the weather and if they get settled.
Yeah.
And that's why I need to transfer them out of these nuke boxes, which has only got room for about 6 frames, into the permanent hives, which has got room for 11, 12 at a push frames. So once I put their new little nuke box on the pallet and strap it down, that's the position that their new hive will be in, including the entrance. It'll all be in the same place.
Yes.
So when I put it down, I'd unscrew the grill at the front, because obviously we didn't want them coming out in the postman's van, and then slowly open the grill, and you see them come out, and they don't fly away straight away. They just kind of hover around the entrance like we would do, like, where am I?
Yeah.
Where am I, Gert?
Gert.
And then very slowly and gradually they go further and further away so that they know where to come back to. Originally, the plan was that all the hives arrived about 2 weeks before the bees were due to arrive, and that would have given me time to build them all, because there's 13 of them, so that would have been like 1 a day or 2 a day over a week. Now, in the event that didn't happen, there was a delay with delivering all the hives, and they actually came the day before the bees arrived, which wasn't ideal because it didn't give me time to build them. Not only that, though, things were about to get a lot worse. Not only did they not come until the day before the bees, but we were out having lunch on the day they arrived, and the lorry driver rang us while we were having lunch, and I explained we were out, we were about half an hour away, and he says, well, I've got 2 pallets for you, and I said, well, that's fine. Unload them and leave them at the bottom of our drive, and we'll carry them up when we get home. And that was all good. So we got home about an hour later, and this is what we found at the side of the road at the end of our drive. Now, we don't know if the pallet collapsed while he was unloading it, or whether the trolley rolled off the ramp of the lorry. We don't know, because the driver never called us to tell us what had happened. Accidents happen, we know that, but it would have been nice to have been told. So not only were we left with this huge mess of really ruined equipment, but we also had 13 colonies of bees with no hives to put in. Now, luckily, the supplier were right on it and got us replacements sent out. And then I was in here for a couple of days hammering my little socks off trying to build all these hives. Welcome back to the side at Croft, to the apiary on the tractor. I can't say
That's a
it.
rubbish accent.
Why can't I do Cornish?
I don't know.
Is it Cornish?
Cornish, Somerset, down that way, yes.
Whatever accent I try and do, it always turns into, I don't know, it's not the accent I'm... Anyway, 2 days ago, you watched us put our nuke boxes on the pallets in the positions that their hives were going to be in. But the hives got delayed, and then they got smashed, and then we were waiting for replacements. So you've seen it all. But anyway,
Yes.
The hives are now built. It's a couple of days later, and we're ready to transfer all the bees into their brand new hives. The first thing to do is close the door on the nuke box. That way, no more of the bees can come out. Now, I know there'll still be the ones who are already out foraging that are going to come back, but that's okay. I just want to make sure I can keep as many of them controlled and safe as I can while we make the move. Now that the bees are secure, I can move the nuke box to one side to make way for the new hive, and that's going in exactly the same place as the nuke box was. This way, the entrance block where they come in and out is in the same place, and that means that when they leave and come back, the way in is exactly where they remember it. After I've taken the roof and the crown board off the new hive, I need to make room in there for the 6 frames that I'm moving from the nuke box. Before I start moving them in, I just give them a little puff of smoke. Nothing too much, because I want to have a look for the queen and see her, and I want to just see how calm the colony is if I don't give them too much smoke. Now this is the best bit. I'm going to start by taking the lid off the nuke box and checking it to make sure that the queen's not on there, because if I just put it on the grass, she might escape and then we've got a queenless hive. Then, slowly and very carefully, I take each frame out of the nuke box and put it in the new hive in the same order. While I'm transferring the frames over, I'm keeping a constant lookout for the queen. I'm also checking the condition of the bees, looking at the pattern of the brood, and making sure that there's plenty of brood in there in all the different stages, like eggs and larvae and capped brood. Once all the frames are transferred, there's still a lot of bees left in the old nuke box. So what I'm going to do is give it a sharp knock, and that moves all the bees into a corner. And then I can just pour them into the new hive from there. It does look a bit cruel, I promise you it isn't. Once they're all safely in the new hive, I put the crown board back on, and I'm going to give them some sugar water in this feeder. And that's it, job done. Inside each hive, there's another 5 of these frames of foundation. That's on top of the 6 that they came with.
Yes.
That have already got brood and eggs and food and pollen and stuff on them. So over the next few weeks, the bees will draw out these new frames. You can see this wax foundation on it, and it's got little tiny shapes like little cell shapes, and that's what they build the comb on. You can also see these wires, that's what holds it all together. Now, once the bees have drawn out about 80 or 90% of these frames, I'll take their feed off them. That sounds cruel, but it's not. I'm only giving them the feed to give them the strength and the materials they need to draw this out.
Yes.
Now, if I leave the feeder on after they've drawn it out, all they'll do is start storing all that sugar water on here.
Which won't be good.
We don't want that. We want this to be full of brood so
Yes.
that the numbers of bees increase. So it should only take a few weeks before we take the feeder off, and hopefully all these new frames are full of brood. I am absolutely shattered.
I am.
26,000 steps my app says I've done today.
No, it didn't.
It does, 26,306 to be honest. Just because yours says 4
I saw you tie it to that horse galloping.
to that horse's what?
Gallop.
Right. The bees are all settled. I'm going to leave them for a week now to
Yes.
settle in. I don't want to keep disturbing them. So I'm going to come back next weekend and give them the first inspection, make sure they've got enough food and everything. They're spread over about an acre, so they're nicely spread apart. I just heard one of the viewers say, you had 12 plus 1, but you've only put 12 out, so where's the plus 1?
It's in kitchen.
Yeah, we're having it for tea. We're taking it back to our original apiary. I just want to see how, if they get honey, how it differs depending on where we've put them.
Yes.
And I don't want to put more than 12 on each apiary, so we've got 12 here. I'm going to start building the other one up as well, but that's why there's only 12 here and the other one's over there.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see what sort of different forage they get too. And that's it for today.
Yes. I know.
I'm ready. I'm shattered. I've said that, haven't I?
I should be halfway through my nap by
Got
now.
to stop saying words that include the word shat in it. We hope you've enjoyed the vlog. If you have and you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. And if you hit Sean's wibbly wobbly bell, YouTube will let you know every time. That's quite hypnotic. Do that again.
The man's bizarre.
If you'd like to help support the channel, there's a link up above Sean's head, which will take you to Patreon. We can get all sorts of exclusive content and photos, not like that, that's a different account, and videos and blogs and things that we don't put on YouTube. It's like exclusive.
It is.
And it helps support the channel, so it helps pays for things for the chickens and the bees and the dogs and us and whatever animals are coming next. Owls.
Owls.
We'll give you an update on Sherlock next week. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Ta-ra.
I've forgotten where I'm going.
To apiary.
Ugh. No, I can't do that. Here we go.
A fly. Hang on. Got an itch.
3, 2.
Don't put that in.
I'm going to put that in.
Don't.
I will put that in now.
I'm too old to be climbing on tractors.
Why is that called mole licks? Look, it says mole licks. I couldn't lick a mole, could you? Ugh. Not unless it's had a good wash first. To the 8th International Gymnastics competition. I'm sweating. I can feel it dripping down my back. Well, I can feel something dripping down my back anyway.
He comes dressed nice. I come like a tramp. He's not listening.
Do you realise how high up I am here? I am shattered.
I thought you were going to say something else then.
Shat on. Is that what you thought I were going to say? I've been shat on. Do I look that rough? I counted on my app 26,000 steps.
No, you done.
38,000
No, you
steps.
didn't.
60,000 steps. 100!
100 steps.
100,000 steps. I don't like that. We're going to do that one again.